Welcome back to Confidence Cafe. I'm super excited as today we are talking about how to reboot our confidence. Plain and square. How to truly press that reset button to feel more empowered, to feel refreshed, more connected with our inner power. And for tonight, I've chosen the best coach in the industry. She's a member of faculty for CTI, the Coactive Institute. She has her own company here in the UAE called Choice Consultancy. And she's an expert in executive coaching, helping organization, government heads to have the best teams, to have the best practices. She's also my coach. And if you stay till the end, if you stay with us during the Confidence Cafe, I will tell you what complaints a confidence coach and a public speaking coach has and how Coach Fatima Nakhjavanpur has done and how she has empowered me. So please, without further ado, help me welcome Coach Fatima.
Oh, thank you, Andrea. It's so nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
I have to invite you because you've had such a big impact in my life, because you've been coaching people for more than 10 years. And not only you are a coach, you are a faculty member, you are training and molding other people to be leaders and to be coaches. I know that you have more than 3,000 hours of coaching. And I don't know anyone who has more than 3,000 hours of coaching, and you've conducted trainings and coaching in over 20 countries.
Yes.
In 10 years. You've been busy.
Yes, I've been busy. Yes.
How can we reboot our confidence in these times when we definitely need it?
And these are special times. This is a very interesting question because people keep on asking this. They have different names for it. They bring different analogy to it. So things has changed. We are facing uncertainty. And in general, human being doesn't like uncertainty and the unknown. So this is when things are not working the way we expected. The first thing that happens is that defense mechanism, that defensive part of our brain gets active, that amygdala, that creates fight, flight, or freeze.
We are definitely freeze.
Yes, reaction in people. And the first thing is that we get out of focus, out of balance, and our neocortex, which is the thinking part of brain, doesn't have a space to think properly because you're in that other space. And so what do we do in times like that? People always ask me, the main point is bring yourself to balance. And I don't want to get so scientific, but the main thing is that is the brain dominance theory, that we have the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, and one hemisphere is more dominant. And in times like this, we have more dominance when there is a stress. We have more dominance of one part of brain. And what happens is that we can't behave at our best and based on potential. So what we want to do, these are very basic things, back to basic, to bring these two hemispheres together. We call it bringing it to the whole brain status, which when we are in that status, we behave from our best self. So there are very simple exercises that you can do to bring yourself, anytime that you're going through anxiety and, fear, or what's happening, it's the fear of loss. Now, stress is based on fear of loss. People are fearful of losing the life they had, the normal they had. And people are so attached to whatever there was. So now that is missing, it's the fear of loss. It's as if they're going through a grieving process. And I really see people going through stages of grief. And the stages of grief, as we know it, is like denial, anger, bargaining. So many people are stuck in the bargaining now.
What does bargaining mean?
So
in
first aspect, you deny it, you don't want it, you go through shock, you don't want to accept it, then you get angry, you're fighting it. And now the great example is actually present time, because they have opened up some places, they remove some limitations. So people are in the bargaining, like, should I go out? You know, I can have 10 people in my house, maybe 15, maybe 20. You know, actually, I can go to the office. You know, it's okay if I don't wear gloves all the time. It's okay if I don't wear. So this is bargaining. Yes, negotiating. And really to come to terms with that what is accepted, what is being in the flow, what is being easy, that's a challenge for people. And in the stages of grief, the next stage can be depression, the next stage can be testing the water, and the last stage is acceptance. I haven't seen many people coming to acceptance, and there are people who are beautifully doing it and accepting it, not because they are necessarily enlightened or supernatural, it's because they have this whole brain status. They know how to do it. They know how to bring balance to themselves. And really, I wanted to share this exercise with you because this is what I do with my clients. I say, whenever you're in a rut and in anxiety and you're under this stress, to bring these two brains together, do this. Take your finger and draw an infinity sign. Draw an infinity sign.
We are doing it.
Draw it. Keep looking till it becomes easy to you, till you're not trying anymore. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it.
I want to ask also the members
and
of.
Then, when it's easy and in the flow, go the other way.
Oh.
Go the other way.
Oh, I can't.
Go the other way. Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
And if you can't do that, do the other exercise. Right on the left knee, left on the right knee.
Okay.
You know,
everybody at home, let's do it. Right, left. Okay. Okay.
If you really
Why do I feel like a child?
Yes, this is playfulness.
Okay.
This is what we do. There was wisdom behind all the things we did as children.
Right.
This is not just a game. This brings your brain.
Brain sync.
Yes, it
Would
does.
you give us the science behind?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you do it at home. You do it at home, and then we're gonna learn what's happening.
And really, at one point, when you are in a rut, when you're in anxiety, try this, and you have whole shift of energy.
What's happening in the brain?
The whole two
hemispheres
are coming together, and we're in balance. Because we are given these two to use the maximum possible, and we're far from using it, the maximum possible capacity of it. But at least at that moment, we bring them together, and that brings a shift.
Now, for people who have lost their jobs, because there is a huge number globally, if they are watching this show, and if they are hearing one of the best coaches, how can they reach to acceptance? And after that, what strategies? How can we equip them to navigate through not only the unknown, but the loss of a job, and they have families? It's unprecedented. It came all of a sudden. Many people were not prepared for such a situation. What can we do?
So, of course, this depends on everybody's situation and everybody's context. This is a general topic we're talking about, but what we can do is that work on the controllables. Work on what you can control, on what you can't focus, and focus on those things that you've been wanting to do for so long. So the financial impact and the issues, that's another discussion. And there is no one tip I can cover here to go over that, and we don't have the magic wand to do that.
We don't.
But there is so much things that they can focus at any moment to take the focus off that.
What's missing of that?
So focusing on one thing means not focusing on something else. With every yes, you say no to something.
With every yes, you say no to something.
This is what we're working on these days. So what are you saying yes to, and what are you saying no to? And let's move from there.
Under rebooting our confidence and our self-esteem, because when you are unemployed, many people could attach the loss of their status with I don't matter anymore. So how can we also educate them to not attach the loss of their job and their livelihood with their self-worth?
Now you're getting to the core of coaching.
Yes.
Because people find their identities in external events, external even material possessions. And the core of coaching is knowing yourself, finding what you're made of, your true nature and what you're capable of.
I prepared myself for you because I knew I was not, I was, first of all, I'm standing a bit taller, and I prepared with props. So I know that we hear this all the time, peel the layers of onions.
Yes.
So in other words, you are saying that when you are removing all the layers, you're finding your identity, you're finding who you are.
Who you really are, your true nature. And these layers, and it's not necessarily removing them,
uncovering them.
It's exploring them, see what's there.
This is going to take a long time, but I'm going to do it after the interview.
So because we just removed the top layer, and the rest we normally use it. So it's good stuff inside. It's always good stuff. These are your values.
And that's why we cry. When we cut the onion, we cry. And I'm going to tell you how I cried when I went in my first or second session to Fatima.
So maybe you don't want to do that now.
Yeah, not
We
now.
don't want crying
not
now,
down.
Andreea. This is a happy place.
It's a happy place, and also Confidence Cafe is a place where we come as we are. And I also tell our viewers that sometimes when you go and have a coffee with a friend and we are as relaxed as we are right now, there would be something, a poem, a phrase, a story that will click something, will shift something in us. And that's the intention of Confidence Cafe, to have this light, honest, and highly valuable conversation where hopefully people will just pick an idea, pick a story or a technique to do the 8 or to hit their right and left and bring their hemisphere in balance and reboot their confidence, go through this pandemic a bit easier. I forgot to ask you, how do you like your coffee?
I like it black.
Thank you. And
simple.
And also for those of you who are now on YouTube, thank you for joining us. I also want to ask you to please press subscribe and click that bell so you can be notified, because we are coming live every Tuesday and every Friday to support you at Confidence Cafe. And also I want to thank the amazing guys who are now behind the cameras from Fat Cat Media Streaming Solutions. They are helping me to bring this amazing content to you. And we are going to navigate through how to reboot our confidence. You know that I'm fascinated by the word. I teach people how to be confident when they present in the area of presentation skills. And I'm also a forever student.
Like we all are.
And as I received Fatima, she didn't come empty-handed. She also offered me this book. I just received it, Trust. So you see, I keep on attracting amazing people, books, resources. And selfishly, that's why I'm doing the Confidence Cafe, to keep on learning, to keep on learning. What is confidence to you?
Confidence has different parts.
Different parts, many layers, like the onion.
Like the onion. It's about your confidence defined in competence.
Yep.
It's about your competence. That's what I tried to say in the first place. Sorry. So it's about your competencies. What are you capable of doing? And your esteem, the part that you know yourself. It's about your being and your doing. So doing as what are you capable of doing, and who are you being as you go through this life, doing those things. This is the simple definition.
How does a coach know? How does a confident coach looks like, sound like, present himself like?
How does a confident coach?
How does a confident coach? Because today we are living in a day and time where we have a plethora, an ocean of professionals with different type of certifications. So I just want to start to learn from you, how does a confidence coach feel? How do you feel? What makes you confident as a coach?
Yeah, I think there are different elements to it, but I just want to make a difference between certified, trained, official coaches And the
People who
ones
have different courses or small courses?
the other shorter courses,
Right.
and the ones who use coaching approach
Right.
and not necessarily certified coaches. So coaching, as we know, initially came from the sport industry, when they were coaching a team of basketball or football, and the coach is there, he's not playing, he's teaching them skills, they go out there, play, they achieve the results by themselves, maximizing their potential. But you don't see a basketball coach going and coaching a football team, or
Stay on their
doesn't
niche.
become a golf coach, because they all have certain skills, they're all being trained and have experiences in that line of work. And that's what makes them special and famous. So it's the qualification, it's the training and experience. Experience, of course, is extremely important, but you can never start this path by going through proper training. And I want to emphasize on that, because this is a very unregulated market.
Yeah.
All over the world. And it's not only in Dubai or different places.
So maybe if someone wants to hire a coach because they've never had an experience, or someone is thinking to take this more free time to become a coach, obviously since you are a faculty member of CTI and you've been in this industry for 10 years, you can give them some guidance.
Yes.
So if we want to hire someone, what do we ask them, and how do we know that they are certified?
So you ask them, are you certified?
And
what
then?
does certification mean? Certification, different schools have different certifications, but there is ICF as International Coaching Federation, who is the international body that regulates this profession.
Okay.
And has their own accreditation. So you can get accredited by one school and then go get the ICF accreditation. But even those schools, when you want to go to them and get their certificate, you want to know if they are ICF approved or not.
Okay.
I've seen many schools advertising as we are following ICF rules.
Okay.
Because ICF has certain competencies for each course and all of that, but they're not necessarily accredited by ICF.
And what's the danger with that?
I'll tell you about it, but you want to know which school is accredited by ICF. There's a website of ICF. You can go and see which schools are there. If they're not there, they're not accredited. That's it. It's simple as that.
Plain and simple.
What is the danger? These certification programs, these trainings of minimum this many hours and this many hours of experience, of training and experience in coaching, because you go through a very extensive process to make you ready to be able and work with people to get better. It's not only learning the skills of coaching, how to listen better or how to hold the space for them, is that who are you as a coach? These courses, these certified qualifications, that's what they do to you. They take you through a journey of self-discovery. You go through all of that before you're even capable of going and coaching people. That's the difference.
You've studied with Richard Bandler or under his coaches?
I have done NLP, but my main coach practicing is coactive,
Yes.
Gestalt, relational, and I don't necessarily practice NLP, but I'm inspired by it. But I have studied under Richard Bandler.
So for people at home, what's the difference between studying, for example, with CTI and NLP?
So these are very different schools of coaching. This is a long discussion.
I know, but I want to give a bit of insight to those.
Coactive is the system that, again, it's an approach that works on being and doing and works so much extensively on yourself. NLP works on the brain functionalities and how you form your language through how your brain is functioning. I hope I'm saying it right. Something
Yes,
like
you
that.
are. Yes, you are.
Yes, and there are the other ones. They are like I've done a lot of work on somatic coaching, which is bringing the intelligence of body to coaching, body as a resource to give you information of how to go about change, because coaching is about change. People come to coaching because they want to change something. And body has so much information. What we call body language is just a small part of that. So somatic coaching, there are many kinds of coaching schools.
If I were to read or to tell you about all the accreditations, certifications, and courses Fatima has been undergoing, I would need another 10 minutes, and I don't want to take 10 minutes of your time to do that. And before I ask you to, I would love to know, how did you arrive at this realization? But before that, I want to know quickly at home for people, if they've never hired a coach to like I did, and I came to you, and now I consider you a very dear friend because of the way you've impacted my life through your coaching, and because of how you treat me and you give me gifts. What is the ROI when I'm hiring a coach? If I spend, I don't know, few hundreds or thousands of dollars, what is the return on investment? I think it's a question that is in the back of the mind of many people who have never...
You mean the organizations?
I mean for the people and also for organization. I want to know for both, of course.
Because organizations are mainly the one who ask for ROI.
So a CEO who wants to hire an executive coach to work with him or with the board members or their sales executives or their decision makers in the company, when they ask you, so what's the ROI, Fatima? What do you tell them?
Yeah, this is a never-ending story, and you know, for those who want, there are certain systems that have been put in place with some formulas to bring some numbers and measurement. A very basic part of it is that they do a 360 before and after with the people. So people give their feedback about the person. Like if I am coaching you, they do a 360 feedback about you before starting the coaching and after the starting coaching, and they can see the difference, what has changed in your interactions, in your performance, because coaching is mainly about behavior. So it's not about numbers or about those little details, but it impacts all of them. It impacts all the numbers. It impacts all the results, all the performance of people. So a very basic part that is most practical is 360 before and after. But if they want to see the result of penny by penny of their investment,
yes, that.
Coaching is very slow process. It takes time to show results. The best and best of coaching will take time to simmer, as we say. But you know what I have noticed, and working with lots of organizations, times and time, having this conversation with organizational development department or HR department, coaching changes conversations. That's it. If that happens, the whole dynamic, the whole culture of organization can change. And even in private coaching, it changes your conversations with people. It changes the way you look at things, perspective. But mainly, aren't we all about conversations?
We are.
That's what
That's
we are.
why we are in Confidence Cafe conversation. How did you arrive to the point of becoming an executive coach, and what were you doing before? Even though I know I want everybody to know.
Oh, my story. I'm gonna bottom line it as much as I can. As you know, I come from corporate background, and I studied business, and I thought that's the only way to be. You study business, you graduate, you go get a corporate job. I had a good job. You know, they send you to all these business trips. I was on this
fancy
business class, nice hotels, driver comes and picks you up, and I was feeling important, and I was much younger than now, even younger, not saying young. And so it was good, and it was fancy and attractive, and inside I felt empty, and I felt lonely, and I was never happy. I was never happy. There was excitement, but it was off after a while, and I was really suffering from observing the relationship between people, lack of trust, politics, backstabbing, doing whatever to get to the top.
The classic scenario when we speak about organizations, unfortunately.
Yes, most organizations. There are conscious organizations that I highly respect, and I have the honor of working with many of them. But those days, and I worked with great organizations. I don't want to make it sound like they were the scary place, but they had the common scenario that you would see in organizations, and it's all about people. You know, when they say people don't leave organizations, people leave people. So it was about that, and I definitely didn't know how to maneuver the politics.
Okay.
I was very bad at it. I was getting to a certain point and not moving from there, seeing people going up, and I couldn't, because authenticity and transparency and integrity were my top values, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, and obviously it will not work as much. So when I had my first child, I decided that I want to stop that work, and because it had so much demand and traveling, and it needed a lot of my time, and as if there was an excuse. So I left that work, and after a while, when I wanted to go back to work, I was offered a job in human resources field, which was not my field, because before I was in business development and marketing and sales. So I went to the...
You took the offer?
I took the offer in human resources, and there was a project for talent management, finding talents. So I had to interview a lot of people. There was assessment and psychological assessment. There were a lot of interviews. They trained me for that. At the end of this project, the person who hired me, he said, "You are so gifted in how you deal with people that I think you should pursue a career in this field." And I was almost offended. I said, "I thought I have a career in this. I mean, what is he talking about?" But it made me think. It opened a door for me. And anyway, I went to a networking event sometimes later, and I met this lady because she was standing alone in one corner, and I didn't want to talk to all those corporate people, and she didn't look corporate. So I went to her, and I said, "So what do you do?" And she said, "I'm a life coach." And this is in end of 2007. And I'm like, "Life coach?" And she said, "Yes, and I love it, and it's this, and it's exciting, and you know, it's very new in Dubai." And I was like, "Is it new in Dubai? I mean, so in Dubai, isn't it too hot? Do you spend time by the pool all day?"
Yeah.
Because I thought she's a lifeguard.
Yes, life coach, lifeguard.
I had no idea what a life coach is. And so in her effort to explain coaching, because it's one of the most difficult things to talk about and explain coaching, she said coaching brings clarity. And that's what I really needed at that point. I was completely lost. So I went to her for a few sessions, God bless her, and she brought so much clarity to me. The reason I do not name her is because she changed career. But she really changed my life with her coaching. She brought clarity to me, and I told her, "I want to do what you do."
Okay.
And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I want to become a coach. I think this is a cool thing to do, and I want to do it." And she gave me the contact for CTI back then. I was so excited. There's a school in Dubai. And I went, and the very first day, at the end of the day, I knew this is going to be my life. I was like, where is this place, and who are these people talking about this stuff that all my life I've been wanting? And is such a thing even a profession, and does it exist in the world? And the rest is history.
So there was an inner knowing as you got through the process of coaching yourself.
I found my calling right there, But it was a tough process. I don't want to make it sound so easy, because I had to leave the corporate world, and I was jobless for a good amount of time. And then freelance coaching was hard back then. Nobody knew about it. And it took me a while till I founded my own company, and everything went
But
smoothly.
what was the secret of your success? How did you manage to establish yourself as a very well known and respected coach in the UAE?
There is no one answer, but so I can only talk about
Of
myself.
course.
And for me was that I was very clear from day one, I want to bring this to corporate. Maybe because of my own personal experience from corporate, I said, they need this. They need to talk to someone. I mean, it's to find ways to maneuver through this, to find themselves, what they're good at, what they can do. And so that's how, so I knew I wanted to take it to corporate. So I focused on corporate. Of course, coming from corporate, I already had people who wanted to try this with me.
Right.
I think one of the secrets was focus. I never took off my focus from corporate. I believe in corporate, and I believe they need this, and they can benefit and blossom through it.
Awesome. Very often I hear you saying that that's your vocation, not just focus, that's your calling to truly enter this ecosystem and then mix or better or just move some pieces of the jigsaw how do you say it?
Jigsaw puzzle.
Jigsaw puzzle, thank you. When you enter in an organization, either if you pitch for a project or either someone invites you, because now they invite you and they call you back, are you able from one discussion or one look in the company to immediately sense what's happening? Because now you have so many hours of experience. Is it easier today for you to immediately sense and point what's the sensitive point or what's the problem? Or you still need to do a lot of interrogation? Like also as a woman, you have a strong intuition, then you have your experience. So I'm wondering, when you enter in a building and you go there to investigate and you kind of know what's their complaint, are you able to immediately sense it?
Again, there's no one answer to this, but in general, yeah, it gets easier. Of course, what they have to tell me is really important, but that's when the systemic coaching comes in picture, because I've been also trained as systemic coach, and systemic coaching looks at the whole system, from when you enter the reception of a company, from the interior design, the furniture, the smell, the way rooms have been designed, the way the light comes in or not. Yes, they say a lot. And I get all this information and I still sit with the organization and I hear and I put them together. And yes, experience plays a big role in the solutions that I can offer them.
Because you've traveled, I know you go very often to Spain and you are required to do trainings there. Would you say that the UAE, being an emerging market with so much more startups, with so many new companies, is in an obvious higher need of coaching and training and nurturing new cultures?
The openness of people, the open-mindedness of people is a good element to take into consideration. But if I want to talk at large, coaching is for human being. Everybody can benefit from it, everywhere, in different contexts. So is it more accepted in some places than others? Yes. Is it more, are the population more educated about it? Yes. When I started in 2009 or 10, nobody knew about it. Literally nobody knew about it. I had to go with an educational session 2 or 3 times, and there was so much doubt and skepticism. Now they're open up. Even UAE government widely uses coaching, which is beautiful to observe, and how open they are to it. But in general, it's for everybody.
Maybe you can share with us from the governmental heads that you are helping, or maybe from your experience with people who are coming to you for one-on-one. What would you say that are the most popular confidence blocks that you hear that you find that people have?
2 things.
That's it? Simplify to do things? That's
There is
awesome.
more, but two things. People don't know their values
Okay.
and they don't know their strengths.
Did you hear the next question I had? Did you read my mind?
Are you going to ask about that?
I wanted to ask you, how do we help people now at home to look throughout their values, because that will help them also feel more confident and maybe reevaluate. So if we start blank, if someone didn't really sit down with a pen and paper and said, my values, you put your name, maybe full name, and you say, my values. If you haven't done this exercise, how they can do it? What type of questions can they ask themselves so that they can realize that these are my values?
Actually, there are very simple ways of identifying that. Let me emphasize that the way that coach listens to these is different than a person who is not trained. So anything I will say here, yes, it can be practiced, and know that a skilled person will do it more deeply. This is just as a reminder. But other than that, a very simple exercise for value is that asking someone, what was the best moment of your life?
Okay.
So they start talking about when they had their first child, when they graduated, when they had that achievement, when they were doing something with their pet. That pops up all the values like popcorn to you. Family is important to this person, love is important to this person, connection is important, achievement is important. Freedom, what does freedom mean to you? Money is important to this person, security is important to this person. Only by asking, what was the best moment of your life? And people go on thinking and analyzing. And I say, don't think, just what is the first thing that comes to you? And so many people say, but there are three things coming to you. I say, okay, tell me all the three. And then I have like 15 values all over the place. But if you ask them, what is your value? And you don't ask them this way. They start telling you the values that was imposed on them by society, and they think they should have it. Let me tell you, when I ask them, what are your values? Most people tell me, honesty. So, okay, perfect. You never lie. Yes. So what happens when you lie? Well, you know, we have to lie sometimes. If you have honesty as your core value, and if you do lie, because we all do have to lie, white or black or gray, whatever, if you have it as a value, you cannot sleep at night. Okay. You will suffer. But if you sleep well through it,
it's not your core value.
It's not your core value, and that's okay. But I cannot tell you how many people, if I ask them what's your value, they tell you honesty. Because that has been given to them. That is what they should have. But when you ask them what was the best moment of your life, wow, the whole world opens.
Okay, so that's one way. You said earlier that mainly there are two common denominators for which people feel a little bit not so courageous, not so confident and comfortable to take action into the unknown and start something. So you said they don't really know their core values?
And let me complete this. When they know their value, because when you live your value and you honor your values, you are at your best self and you are happy. So that's why knowing your values is important in your confidence. So this is my value, I don't do anything that goes around it, or if I have to do it, I will find another way to correct this. And so I am at peace and I am happy and I can do much better from this place.
I'm sensing the question of my audience here. I have a whisper. What is the difference between knowing your value and your strength? What do you value and what is your strength?
Okay, they're very different. Strengths are your capabilities. Values are what you stand for. It's what you cannot live without, what defines you. Strengths are your capabilities, that competencies, capabilities, and it's that fuel. It's how you do things through that's a strength. And again, many people don't know their strengths. They softly know it. There's a ghost of their strength. they don't know. And this one, basically, I just give them a test. I give them, there is an online test, a strength finder. Everybody can go and find it. It's fantastic. And it gives them their top 5 values. If they want, it gives them all the 49.
Yes.
And it's so much information there, because when your strengths are triggered and something gets on the way of your strength, that's what we call it weakness. So
one more time. So when you know your strengths.
Yes, and something triggers it. And I'll tell you more about it.
Example,
yes, and I tell you more about it. A person who has strength of responsibility, takes ownership, is responsible, does things, and shows responsibility in all possible ways. I have responsibility, and I start collaborating with you.
Okay.
And you don't have responsibility. You're not responsible. You are triggering me. I am on the edge that, why is this person not responsible?
Okay, this happens all day, every
my
day.
responsibility strength shoots up in a way that it's not serving me. So I start being controlling.
It's like a coin with 2 sides. It's like a coin.
So, and triggering can be in many different ways. I just used this simple example, but when it gets triggered, so we go to the other side of our strength, we overuse it. And that is what we call it weakness, because I don't like to use the term weakness.
Okay, so know your values, and what else did you mention? Strengths. Because you said there are 2 main or 2 popular
values and strengths. If you know this,
okay.
There is also on a bigger picture, there is life purpose. Do you know what your life purpose? Do you know why you're on this earth? And I work on this with everybody. Really, it's one of the main parts of my work. Why are you here in this world? Do you know that? And it might look a little like, you know.
It can be a daunting question. It can be a confrontational question.
Yes, but I take them through a process. It's not, that's a difficult question to answer. So I take them through the process to discover that life purpose. Once you know that purpose, you wake up every morning to walk towards
energized.
that. Yes, it's your path.
Do you think that this quiet time that doesn't allow many people to be as busy and doing this and driving and dropping the kids and being busy with life and life keeping them busy, do you think that this quiet time could actually make people look in the mirror and ask themselves these questions?
It has, because it's a time that people are searching for meanings and looking inwards because they have a chance. Yes, of course.
Is the right time to mention that one of the reasons I recommend to every person who takes responsibility and is eager to grow and to cultivate their potential in life to get a coach, and the best one, is that maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I called you and I said, Fatima, something happened. I haven't shared it online, and if you think this is weird, it's okay, I'm sorry. If you think it's going to help you, I hope so. I woke up, just opened my eyes and started to have a very strong sense of fear. I was shaken by the question, why am I waking up? What's happening in my body? Why am I here? It's morning, but I'm trapped in the body. I had like a flash of multiple questions that were making me ask myself, why am I starting the day and what's happening? And I got scared. And luckily I was able to dial 800, Fatima, and she answered, and you comforted me. Fatima said, that's good, it happened. It means you are getting closer and closer to your purpose. It means you are becoming more aware of your experience, and you are learning that you are divine energy, or energy, I think you said, that at the moment is in this realm, in this body. I'm not using the words that you've used.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you gave me comfort in translating what has happened, because I've never had such a experience, and that's why I think a very good coach who becomes partially a guide, partially a caregiver, partially someone who helps you navigate, will help you translate all the emotions, the events that you have happened, and keeps you anchored in who you are, keeps you anchored in who you are.
Yes, and people resist experiencing their life.
Meaning?
Sometimes experiencing your life at the present moment means to be sad, to be vulnerable, to be with that emotion, because there is information in the emotion. All my clients, when they start crying, the first thing they do is apologize. I'm so sorry. Why people apologize for crying? Crying is just another emotion. And they think like they're making me sad, or so experiencing life as it is with everything that is there in the present moment is a gift that we need to remind people. It's okay, just experience it as it is, and see the gift in it.
Gorgeous. Which leads you back to acceptance.
Oh, yeah.
We have beautiful comments here on YouTube, and please, I encourage you to ask now all the questions that you have. I mean, this is your complimentary coaching with Fatima. Khaled says, hoo-hoo, go Fatima, the best in the industry. Thank you, Khaled Gorab.
Thank you, Khaled.
Thank you for connecting us, Khaled. Ahmed Hagag says, all of us, we are crying because of the corona situation, but at the same time, it's the best time to learn more and improve ourselves in work and what is missing. We couldn't agree more. Samira Hamadi, who was on Instagram earlier, says, Fatima is a well of knowledge. Thank you, Andreea, for allowing us to discover her.
I do.
Told you so.
Thank you.
I'm so happy she made time to come. You are coaching 8 to 9 hours on Zoom. 9 hours of speaking on daily basis, and you're smiling. Oh,
yes.
That's a marathon. That's a marathon of thank you.
This is a gift. It's a channel.
Kaziv Karzaz says, great takeaway. Thank you so much. Life is a gift. Alexandra says, thank you, Andreea, to bring so much knowledgeable personalities from different industries into the wonderful concept that you have created. Irina says, it's great to follow your instinct, find your passion, and make a living out of it, which is your case. Not many know how to navigate through a struggle. Look at a friend, mentor, or coach to find a way. Last message I'm going to quickly read. And thank you so much for being here on YouTube. We love you. Lina Gauba says, so proud of you, Fatima. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. It's wonderful. That's why I wanted to open this virtual space so we can have this dialogue, so we can, I mean, even though we don't see you, we acknowledge you. We sense your energy and we read your comments, of course.
Thank you.
I remember also one time when I came to one of the sessions, I came upset and I said to you, look, Fatima, I'm writing this to this friend on WhatsApp and he hasn't replied to me. And two things happened. You laughed exactly like you laughed now. I was so pissed off, like, look, I wrote this message and why he doesn't reply? It was just a friend and I was so caught up, and and Fatima said, Andreea, meet people where they are. And that was the first time when I realized, what? No, I want people to be as responsive as me. I want people to be as passionate as me. She said, bad news. Meet them exactly where they are. I'm like, okay. But I also know that you are very strong opinionated on WhatsApp universe. And I know that you often say, if I could, I would cancel WhatsApp.
Yes, if I had a magic wand, I would make it disappear, because of all the, what is the word I want to use?
I think the ways in which we are not able to express
all the imbalance that it creates in communication. Because what is written there is not what people mean to say, and I say you can't staple people to their WhatsApp to know what was their inner intention. And I hear so many WhatsApp stories in my everyday coaching session that one of the challenges I give my clients, say, what if you don't WhatsApp for this communication anymore? And they're like,
yeah. So first of all, maybe to create more even to educate people a little bit more in case they are not aware, because so many miscommunications happen there. Husband,
Yeah.
wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, partners.
Work colleagues,
work
all
colleagues.
of them, yeah.
So how can we avoid those, apart from calling each other and sending voice messages? What is a way for us to be more empathic, to remove assumptions and to have a better communication on WhatsApp, since we are using it day in and day out?
Again, you're asking a question that has no one answer, because if you work on yourself, if you know yourself, if you're clear with your message, that will reflect everywhere.
Okay.
People are so much in a rush. They type in a rush, they read in a rush. Now there is this lingo, LRO, I don't know this. It's like, and there is the spell correction
Right.
that turns
Messes
one word
everything
into
up.
completely different
And then another
word.
conversation starts from there.
And sometimes this turns into something insulting. I have seen that, and it almost breaks homes because they think somebody was insulting them. And so now some people go on voice messaging, because then some people use that voice messaging against them, sending it all over the world, the voice of this person. So integrity, keep your human values, and things take time. Read slowly, write slowly if you have to, because we can't get rid of it.
But if there are people out at home watching this interview, like me, who are anxious, and they like when people answer their WhatsApp in a normal fashion.
What is normal for you?
You see, that's exactly what she does.
Define normal.
You say something, and then you have to define so that you can bring forth your lexicon and your labels around normal. To me, and this is a hot topic, and I want to speak more about it, I want to document myself more about it, because if I speak with someone on WhatsApp, if I have questions, I'm assuming that I'm having a conversation like I'm having here with you. I'm assuming. So I say, are you free to talk about this? I want to ask you a few questions, and we just speak on WhatsApp, because for whatever reason, we don't speak on the phone. If I ask a few questions, one or two, and if the person disappears for half an hour, I consider that incredibly rude. You can say, I can't speak anymore, I have to rush. But some people just disappear. Imagine if I would just leave the interview right now and I would go on the balcony. How would you feel, or how I would feel if you would just stand?
But how do you know the person is on balcony?
No, I'm saying...
So when they do not answer you don't know what is happening in that space.
But I have the expectation...
Yes.
That they should explain. It's part of manners to say, listen, I can't speak right now. I'm about to drive. I'm about to do something. Like, let me know. Don't just vanish.
Let me tell you something. People have different ways of processing information.
Okay.
Apart from the fact that maybe an emergency happened and they had to disappear. Let's put that on. People have different ways of processing information. And introverts take time to process information. They want to take space and time and everything to just process it. Not because they want to think about it, what to write to you, just processing it. So an extrovert, a super extrovert like you,
yes,
who communicates with the world with externally, you focus your energy externally. You're an extrovert and you get energy externally. So introverts are not like that. They need to, so that's only one example. And about the other part is human being making assumptions.
Which is the
making up stories that it has no foundation. There is no proof to the fact that it's right, and this goes on, and they build on it. So yes, the person doesn't answer because he's processing information. It could be as simple as that.
So I'm less worked up on this since we've tackled it.
Wow,
yes.
I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm really glad.
When we were working together, I wasn't really punctual. I had a problem being punctual, and she asked me some questions, and she gave me a look. And then I became punctual.
The look.
And then I became punctual. you said something so interesting that I think I'm going to focus on for the next few weeks. You said, Andreea, I don't believe in going and getting and hustling and getting something. I believe in receiving. And you even did your body, you opened your body. So what does it mean that you believe in receiving, not in going and getting? What's the difference?
I think getting has the energy of not having something, so you want to get it. I really believe
Okay.
that we have everything inside us. We have all the resources, we have all the knowing. We just need to do our work to access all of that. And when we have done our work and something we want to receive in life, not because we necessarily don't have it, it's because having it adds some value to us. Then we open ourselves to receiving it. I hope I'm making sense.
You are?
Because it's a big topic, to be honest. But it's like not coming from not having, not being, not doing. It's just not how we as sacred human are built. We are full already. We just need to access it. A little excavate.
So it's having an attitude of I am full and I'm searching for it by peeling the onion.
Yes, and what we want to receive is something to complement us, and that's okay. That's
Rather
okay.
than I need that externally because I'm empty. Wow.
Yes.
Since you've shared so much about your practices, we would like to test you a little bit.
Oh.
We have 10 power questions. We start with the first one. What is your favorite word?
Choice.
The name of her company, Choice
Love
Consultancy.
choice.
What is your least favorite word?
I can't.
What turns you on?
Oh, a very good trip or a fantastic project, work project.
What turns you off?
People nagging.
Okay, I've heard that from other guests. You coaches, you just can't stand that. What sound or noise do you love?
Music.
Ah, she's a very good dancer. What sound or noise do you hate? I didn't think of what sound or noise I hate, Andreea. Thank you for asking me the question.
Yes.
What sound or noise I hate?
Of someone
The
talking about not taking responsibility for their own life, I
She
think.
hates nagging sound.
Yeah, that was another way of saying.
What is your favorite curse word?
Oh.
That one. Oh, she's. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, cooking.
Ah, easy, cooking.
Love it.
But right now you don't have time for cooking.
I always have time for cooking. Always, always, always.
So,
It's my love, my passion.
good. I'm not jealous. Kids, husband, coaching, traveling around the world, 20 countries, 3,000 hours of coaching.
But I don't have a confidence cafe. See? I don't have everything.
I feel better now.
There you go.
So graceful of you. What profession would you not like to do? Like you're sure that that profession you will not like to do?
Are the criminal stuff considered profession?
Yeah, she would not like to be a criminal.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And that's why we are friends, because I would not like to be a criminal either.
Yeah.
If
I
heaven,
would not like that profession.
if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You have arrived.
You are Persian and proud.
Very much.
And I've extract something that Rumi said, famous Persian
Poet,
poet,
philosopher,
and
everything.
who had a huge influence on humanity. So, what do you think when I'm saying you have to keep breaking your heart until it opens? How does it resonate with you? Do you think he's right?
It depends what you understand from breaking.
Sure.
I think breaking is that allowing it to experience the pain and what is not as you expected, and the perfectedness of what is, and that open up.
Have you ever in your life felt that your heart was broken?
Oh, absolutely, of course.
How did you heal?
There were times that I had no skills, no knowledge, and I suffered for a very, very long time. And what I feel not good about is that I didn't even ask for help. And then I learned. And after that, my heart was broken. But with the new knowing and asking for help and searching the healing, allowing it to heal, I feel that's what was different. But oh, definitely, definitely.
One of the things that I really appreciate about you and your approach is that you bring a lot of spirituality and a lot of spiritual practices into your very scientific type of coaching, and I just want people at home to know that. Another and the last passage from Rumi, I'm wondering what is going to stir up in you and what you have to say about there is a voice that doesn't use words. Listen.
Silence. Silence. I think one of my biggest discoveries as an extrovert in this field of human development has been the gift of silence, because in one of my very early trainings, they put us in days of silence. And that was my first encounter with silence, and there is so much information in silence that changed my whole being after that. So this speaks very well to me.
Just 3 more questions before
Yes.
we conclude our time here on Confidence Cafe. Why is it very difficult? Why is it more difficult to listen to your inner voice and to your guidance than not? Why is it so difficult to listen to our gut feeling? Very often we go into situations, even in marriages, and we say, I knew from day one that it was not going to work. And you wake up 10 years later saying, yeah, I knew it. Why we are not so good at listening to our inner guidance?
Yeah, we don't trust it, actually. We always hear it. We don't trust it because there is so much noise from outside that we get that interrupt us from listening. So practicing and learning to listen to that inner voice is something that we work so much on coaching with clients, because everybody has that intuition, everybody has that voice. Say, when was the last time you listened to it? And give me example of it. And between now and next session, practice listening to that voice and act upon it at least once. And people come with these epiphanies, and we haven't actually, as a coach, I haven't done anything. I just invite them to trust it.
Because you are working on helping people reach to the peak of their potential, I'm very curious to ask, what is human potential? How do you define human potential?
Limitless. There is no limit of what we are capable of. Mind, body, spirit, all the 3 dimensions. We are sacred humans. We have so much potential.
You brought, so for people at home who feel they are limited because they've lost something, you want them to challenge that. How they can challenge that?
What did you gain instead? That's the question. You lost something, what did you gain instead? Because there's always something you gain instead. And sometimes it's hard to see it, but there's always something there.
You've mentioned without me asking you anything twice, that we are sacred being. And in this interview, it's been 3 or 4 times when you read my mind. And I want to conclude. Our interview. I don't know how she does it, but she did. I'm always preparing something special for everyone to offer them as a token of appreciation, and I allow myself to feel inspired. And I've chosen a poem of Hafiz, who speaks about sacredness.
Thank you.
I don't know how you managed to guess that, but she didn't see my paper. So this is obviously for you, and of course for you watching right now. A dedication and a poem of Hafiz. Given that poems are the language of the soul, and this is coffee for your soul. Now is the time to know that all that you do is sacred. Now, why not consider a lasting truce with yourself and God? Now is the time to understand that all your ideas of right and wrong were just a child's training wheels to be laid aside when you finally live with veracity and love. Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and action is sacred. This is the time for you to compute the impossibility, that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred.
Beautiful.
And it's my special dedication because when I see you, when we work together, when we speak, you just have this infinite love, and everything you do and you make me feel is related and highly related to grace. So, thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you.
Your valuable inputs. And you at home, thank you for all your comments. Of course, we are going to answer to all of your questions. Thank you again, Fat Cat Media Streaming Solutions, for helping us stream these episodes. I trust and hope that you've taken that something, that advice, that exercise that is going to help you to truly reboot your confidence and navigate with much more power, and make sure that you are looking into that infinite potential.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to be with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon, guys. Thank you for being here.